Hello everyone. Remember the time I said see you in round 5? Well, I'm actually going to see you in round 6. I got a bye in the 5th round, which put me at 2 and 3. The bye helped because I didn't have to play somebody who was also 1 and 3, so my tie breaks didn't drop down that terribly much, but it still didn't help. But hey, I get to play first, and with a red deck, that is awesome. Um, so this hand. Suspect, I know. It has a noble. But if you look at the two cards that are in it besides the noble that aren't land, it makes you happy. And I like being happy. So at this point, I'm kind of like, I'm on my way out. Probably playing a little bit loose. So I kept these. And turn one play, and then like if I draw a 2-drop or a 3-drop on my next few draws, I'm still happy because I'm sitting in with 3 guys with this. And then this guy the next turn. So playing blind, I say I'll throw out the noble. Because why not? And what does he follow up with? Forest and abundant growth. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, so it's probably hexproof aura shenanigans. I said GLHF because I'm a manner. And then, yeah, his name was like Wak. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. But I just rope a calculator, calmly off the top, play it. And then say go. He's got mana to play an Invisible Stalker, which is pretty benign as is. I'm not too afraid of it, but I'm expecting actually a block here on maybe the Cackler or something, because taking 6 damage on turn 3 when you are going to tap with 3 mana is kind of harsh. But then he takes it, going to 13, putting me at just straight lethal next turn with the Hell Rider and having me pseudo curve out, despite keeping a terrible hand. But I mean, he plays against the same draft, so at this point I'm like, yeah, so it's all in on the enchantment train. And then I rip another Hell Rider. And at this point I'm like, okay, so this is gonna be good, right? I play the Hell Rider, and triggers go all over the place because I swing for the fences. He's tapped out. He only has the Cleric. I do some quick combat math, and I'm not getting there this turn. But I have a Hell Rider and a Hellkite to come down. So, I mean, he really needed to rip something like a Wrath. And I don't think these play Wraths because it'd be like a 10 for 1. I'm assuming next turn what he was going to try to do was play like Ethereal Armor, Rancor, and just try to get me with that. But he didn't, because I beat him to it. As I said, playing first with this deck and getting a pseudo curve is fantastic. I think that means I should mulligan more aggressively, because when you get a hand that just has like a dude and a thing and a burn spell and it's got a couple Hellion Crucibles, it's like, but I feel like it's a lot better of a deck to just be able to drop dudes consistently. Okay, so I brought in a Threaten because I thought to myself, oh my god, if he gets like a Geist of Chain Draft or Invisible Stalker with like a ton of enchantments on it, I'm just gonna get him with it. Like, what can he do about it? Nothing. Because I can just like take it and hit him with it, and it'll be so big. Yeah, for those of you playing at home, I didn't remember that Hexproof is a thing that happens. And when Hexproof is a thing that happens, it hurts a lot in your face parts with beating things. So I was sad, but lucky for me, that never came back to bite me. He just goes turn 2, thing go. Like, okay, 2 lands, fine. I'll just swing first because it's open and I know how to play Magic. Expecting something to happen here, never does. So I just play a Chainwalker and say go. But he responds with a Selesnya Charm to put down a 2/2. which is fine. I mean, I'm okay with him having a 2/2. I'm not afraid of a 2/2 Vigilant Knight. Oh, it has Ethereal Armor. That makes it into a 4/4. Okay, 4/4 Vigilance, and okay, a Temple Guard. Oh God. So at this point, I'm looking at my hand and I'm saying, he has dug his own grave. Um, it has so much things on it. MTGO cannot keep track. Um, so basically, what it has on it is it's a knight that's a 12/10 with first strike, trample, vigilance. Has two ethereal armors, a rancor, and it's getting pumped from the growth twice. At this point, I look at things and I'm like, okay, so does that stay with those? Like, is it the like, is it creatures controller things? And I look at it, and it's for each enchantment you control, and the enchantment's still controlled by Whack. So I use my threaten ability because I figure, yeah, that'll win me the game. And this is what happens on my screen, like during the game. It made me upset because at this point I'm thinking to myself, oh, well, it must have, been some rule I didn't know about tokens, where if you steal a token, it, because it's crossing from one side to the other, it may technically leave the battlefield or something, and it makes it so it's not targeted anymore by something. And because tokens, when they leave the battlefield, they don't exist, so maybe it leaves the battlefield, and because it was a threaten, the enchantment's like exiled or something, and I'm just kind of like, oh, well, that's weird. Nothing showed up on my screen. I do this and this. I don't see anything, so I'm like, oh, well, it must just be gone. Well, come to find out, you have to do that. Like, I'm pretty much all the way in. So I go to declare attacks. Notice no red text. See how that says attacking? This doesn't. And what happens is my opponent, upon seeing this, GG's, and leaves the game. Something that, honestly, I don't know if I would have the ability to do. Yes, it's later on in the tournament, but he still had a outside shot of getting into the top 16 and getting his money back in packs, or, so why would you leave? I don't know. But he was a gentleman and realized I had him beat. I outplayed him, bringing in a threaten against hexproof decks, knowing that occasionally they have to use things that are not hexproof, and he gave me the win. I mean, just gentlemanly thing to do. Because this was round 6, it put me at 3-3, meaning if I won and tiebreakers went my way, I would be one of the 12 one of the 12-point people to wind up going home with 3 shiny packs of Return to Ravnica, something that I would be more than willing to draft with later on in my life. But